And start streaming. Oh yes, we're live. Hello. This is the pre-show, I think.
Yeah, this is pre-show.
Yeah.
Are we getting pre-show highlights this time? Please tell me we're getting
I hope
pre-show
so.
highlights this
We
time.
we have to like do something highlightable though. Something has to be funny.
Highlightable.
Yeah.
Man,
We
we've
don't want
got.
to try too hard.
Okay, how about me learning to say Kikiomeo's name properly? How is that exciting?
Kikiomeo.
Kikiomeo is that
Mio, not Mayo. It's a E.
Kikiomeo?
Yeah,
Right.
Mio. Because you're saying mayo like the stuff that goes on burgers.
Because my fiance is a mayo nut. She is an absolute mayo nut. Go into the opposition's jungle, find someone, kill tower. Find someone, kill Gold Fury. That is
Yeah.
how Slap and Tickle play.
That's true. The amount of invades during the invite league. Good transition. So last week we had a invitational ladder qualifier. Oh wait.
Wait, we should probably intro the show.
Yeah. God damn it. God damn it.
It's that time again. It's the Deoceide podcast. Hi, I'm going to be your host once again, ladies and gentlemen. Rankonius coming at you with our normal guest, Josh Campbell, or otherwise known as Knightfall.
Hello.
Callum TheMachine McCall,
Hello.
complete with RNG fortune cookies this week. And finally, yeah, well, there's
RNG
the-
fortune cookies.
Man,
Spoiler
you need
alert.
one of, you should probably give those out to all the 80 carries in the invite league. They need to eat one right before they need a crit, right?
Yep.
Pray to RNG.
Only build Deathbringer if you have RNG fortune cookies. Otherwise, go raid.
And then finally, two guys coming to us live from the Invite League after successfully qualifying in front of a huge crowd last weekend. We're going to have RichardCastle on the left in black. And on his right, Kikiomeo.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. See, this is why we have one here, Nightfall. You were lucky enough to attend the Ping Zero LAN
Yes.
in New Zealand. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Okay, so first I'll tell the story of how I got there. So one week I was like minding my own business, streaming and things, and then I heard there was a Ping Zero LAN the week before it happened. And for those of you who don't know, flights are expensive when you book them 3 days before you go on it. So I paid $400 to go to Auckland from Christchurch, and then I went to the
Ooh.
Ping Zero LAN, and oh my gosh, it was totally worth it. Like, holy crap, it was awesome. There was 200 people there, I think, maybe more than that, and that was like my first ever like LAN experience of awesomeness. And there wasn't actually too much Smite. There was like 10 people altogether playing, and then we hosted like a 1v1, which was alright. I came third because I was busy. I tabbed out mid game in Joust and decided to throw the game, so that was fun. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. Just seeing like so many people playing games together, and I've never like been in a LAN situation before, and that was awesome. I'm sure there was a better one, Mr. RF LAN over here.
Oh yeah,
Callum
Hey.
the Machine.
Tell us about RF LAN.
Okay,
It's
RF LAN was
the
awesome.
biggest LAN in
So
Oz.
this was
Yeah.
the 50th event. So as a result, they increased the capacity. Normally it was like 500, but this time around it was 750. So it was like really packed. It was like really hype, and it was really cool. So I've been going to RF LAN for years. Ever since I was like 14, I've been going to RF LAN. So RF LAN was cool, but the Smite tourney was like a joke. Like, ugh. So this is going to be like a pretty rant. Basically what had happened, right, is it was cool meeting up with like Top Notch, and some other cool people, but like there wasn't that many people playing, and like that's what we knew was going to happen. We knew there was going to be like 2 or 3 teams, and basically there only ended up being 3 teams that signed up. So we went up to the admins, the guy running it, one of the admins, and we said like, hey, we've only got 3 teams. This isn't really gonna work. Can we do like a joust tournament? That'd be really cool, because then we'll have 5 or 6 teams, and then like joust isn't very competitive, so it'd be a lot more fun, because there was only one team full of people that actually play Conquest, and that was like a all-stars of everyone from the Smite Oceanic page that had like preemptively met up and booked up, and were all like, yeah, let's go. Top Notch, Freemason, and just some other level 30s. And then everyone else, like, not only had they never played Conquest in their life, they were like level 15, level 20s. And so, like, a Conquest tourney was going to be crap. So we wanted to do like a Joust tournament because it'd be more fun, more casual. We'll have more teams or like arena as well, even. But like apparently like they had to do Conquest because of the sponsorship with Plantronics and because of the path to the Pro League. It had to be Conquest. So we did a Conquest tournament, and it was like two 9-minute games where the other team didn't build Boomba's Mask or Hand of Gods because they've never played Conquest before. And then it was just like a really one-sided, stompy game. Bear in mind, we were doing the stream, stasis mode, both games. We couldn't stream anything at all because the spectator was just broken. But yeah, and then we finished the tournament, and I was like, well, that was a waste of time. And then people just went back to playing Arena. So, like, yeah, RFLAN was awesome, but I think there were really unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do a Conquest tourney. It's going to be awesome. You know,
Definitely.
let's get teams into the Pro League. And it's like, well, no, because none of the LAN teams are going to be any good. Also, the team that ended up winning had to forfeit, like, the Pro League entry, whatever it was, because Freemason and Top Notch have already qualified under Silicon. So, like, it was kind of a big waste of time. Whereas, like, if we just did a Joust tournament, everyone would have had fun. We would have, you know, there would have been heaps of cool prizes that to give away to people. And it would have been something to really get people, like, interested in playing Smite. People would have just sort of watched it and go, oh, that looks fun, you know, and it would have been cool. But the way it was with Conquest, it was kind of frustrating for those new players. They didn't have much fun, as you would. And I heard a lot of stories like that from other LAN events where there weren't enough teams that were competitive and by any means. So it should have just been something more casual.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on how RFI went anyway.
Yeah, well, I guess this is my point to now sort of put in. I was part of the crew that was working on Landslide down here in Melbourne, and a couple weeks prior to the event, I got in contact with the guys and I said, hey, just a Conquest tournament's just not going to work. Not at this stage. We need to first pitch to the Smite community, get the Smite community interested in coming, because it is, as well, an eastern side of Melbourne tournament. I believe Guff actually gets some really, really good numbers with the western side of Melbourne LAN centers, which are, if you are interested in, head on to guff.com.au. They're absolutely, those guys are just fantastic to hang out with. So if you want to be part of the Guff, they run stuff every Thursday night. There's one in Brisbane, there's one in Shepparton, Geelong, Ballarat, and Werribee all have stores down in Melbourne, and then finally in Tasmania there's a store in Launceston. So if you're interested in doing some Smite, and you are in those areas on a Thursday night, you can head on down to your local one, if you do have a local one, and enjoy that. So, like, but for us, if people are out in the west of Melbourne, it's kind of like a 2-hour trip to come to a LAN. People are just like, yeah, not really interested. And so I said a couple weeks out, hey, let's just run a joust, and it ran quite well. We got 5 teams. That was pretty epic. We got 5 teams. It was one of the only MOBA competitions to run. I think we ran it and Dota, but Dota had a lot of issues because we had a $3,000 mast dish crash on us out of a tree whilst we were trying to set it up. So we lost one of our internet connections. Then we showed up on the Saturday to go to the LAN event, and one of our routers worked fine for the first 2 hours and then just crashed, and we couldn't get it to restart. So that went out. Our third connection was supposed to be admin based, so mainly for me, especially because I was going to be doing most of the streaming and casting from the event, was a 4G connection through Vodafone that was free for that weekend on some sort of deal, and we had to restart the connection every 2 gigabytes. So that was not really applicable to run tournaments on, because, like, if everyone had conked out after that 2 gigabytes, it would have just killed everyone. A fourth connection was supposed to be dedicated for League of Legends, because there was like 50 people that wanted to come and play League of Legends. It was fantastic, really, really good. But, you know, it was kind of like, that one would have handled all the League of Legends traffic totally fine, and there wouldn't have been a problem. But as soon as we started loading all of the LAN's connections through that one and our last remaining internet connection, obviously they became overloaded. So unfortunately, we really, really had to wait until later in the evening when all the League of Legends players had left. That opened up a lot of the data space, and that actually let us run a fantastic Joust competition. It was a bunch of fun in the end. The LAN was very, very much regretted, but there was nothing that they could have done. Like, all the problems that went wrong, there was nothing that could have fixed them. So we tried that. We spent about 3 hours trying to fix our router that crashed. We tried sourcing up parts all night on Friday night to try and get the dish that went down fixed, and there was just nothing that could have happened. We tried sourcing up a bonus connection, but it was going to be, so expensive that it just wasn't going to be worth it, especially considering this particular LAN's financial situation. So, all things considered, getting through the Smite tournament and everyone that came and had fun, that was fantastic. I actually got to meet Rana Barana, which was fantastic as well. He's a bunch of fun. So something I'd really like to throw over to Kikiomeo and RichardCastle is where are you guys based, first off? And do you know of any lands that you could potentially be a part of? Should people be looking out for you? And then what would you guys be looking for to potentially attract you to go to a land, something like this?
First of all, we're based in Melbourne. Eastern
Hi.
Suburbs. And we can speak if you go. There's a event next week, isn't there? Isn't there a meetup in Melbourne?
Yes. Next Friday night, for anyone who is in Melbourne and wants to come in, we're actually going to be going to probably one of the NCNet cafes in the city. And if you would like to, there is a post in the group on Facebook. Go and like that, or get in contact with myself over Facebook, and I'll make sure that you get invited to the event, or somebody else who's already in the event can invite you as well. And we've got a couple of votes for times to start and which internet cafe we should be going to.
Yeah. What are you guys
That's
going to
cool.
do? What's the plan? Just hang out and play Smite?
Yes. I wish I could go. Everything cool is in Melbourne or Sydney or not New Zealand. Yeah,
Book a plane ticket.
I would, but I'm a poor
Stay with
student.
us, Knightfall.
One day, I'll move to Melbourne. I'm actually seriously thinking of it, moving to Melbourne. That'd be cool. I'm not kidding.
He's totally going to come over here and live with me.
Ew. That'd be cool. Just having, being closer to things and being able to meet people. That'd be cool. Cause being in Christchurch sucks. I literally go to Polytech. Polytech is TAFE. Come home, sleep, and do nothing else. That's it. I just work on my computer. Hashtag the life. Anyways.
The second part of that question about what we'd do to play lands, I think the lands would more just be sort of fun with some friends. A few of my friends play Smite. I'd probably just team up with them and play Conquest. I don't think I'd ever do it competitively or anything. I think Smite's obviously too small at the moment to have any proper competition at the lands, especially just in Melbourne.
But Melbourne would be probably the biggest
It would be good
state.
meeting everyone.
Yeah.
What I was just saying is if you reckon there wouldn't be enough numbers for competitive lands in Melbourne, it'd be like that everywhere, because Melbourne and Sydney would be the two biggest states.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of it.
There wouldn't be enough for competitive conquest, though.
Yeah, that's the thing about.
Joust.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joust Arena, because anyone can play Joust Arena. That's sort of what I was saying, where only a very small percentage actually do play Conquest.
Yeah. I'd do it. I'd enjoy it. Yeah. Team up with Switchblade.
All right. Well, that's probably an appropriate place to leave that one and move on to our next topic. So Invitational League, this one obviously directly targeted at you guys that have just managed to move on and qualify. So last weekend, for those of you who didn't know, not this weekend, not as in today, Sunday the 26th of April. We're in April? Yeah, we're in April. But last weekend on Sunday the 19th of April, we did held the Invitational League qualifiers. Of course, unfortunately, with the disbanding of Heteroi due to Ochida joining the Avant-Garde squad, this led to 5 spots being opened up, and of course, only 8 combatants trying to compete for those. Unfortunately, on the day, some people did run into a few amount of issues, and that meant that we did have 2 teams disqualified, so it come down to 6 teams being trying to trying to battle it out to find out who the top 5 were in a round-robin style competition throughout the course of the day. And luckily enough, you guys were picked off, and not just picked up to go into the Invitational League tournament. You guys finished the entire day undefeated. How does that feel?
Good. Yeah, it felt really good at the time. I don't know. Like, I was a bit more nervous for the first game, but after the first game, I felt pretty confident going into the rest.
How
I
did
don't know, we'd scrimmed all of them before, and we knew they were going to be close games. But I think, I don't know, it's just good to win, really.
What is it like to, like, you guys? So, for those of you who don't know, Richard and Kiki are brothers, and they're the duo lane. They're the support and the AD carry for the same team. Like, I don't know why, but that's just the coolest thing. Like, what's it like having your brother to support you and you having to support your brother?
You can go first.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty good. We have a lot of chemistry. It helps with knowing when we're going to do something, especially considering we're in the same room as well.
Yeah, a few of our teammates are like, when I wasn't playing with I've turned push to talk off on the mic, but me and Kiki would just like do comms across the room rather than
With the whole team.
Yeah, so like you guys got to talk to us, know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. It's like we kind of just did it in casuals to start off with because you
Can't trust people to carry.
you kind of get stuck with supports who don't want to support and don't know what they're doing. So we kind of just did that from the start and played like 1,000 games now probably.
Yeah.
So, how did you choose who got to carry and who got to support?
Well, I probably started playing Smite 6 or 7 months before Richard, and then
probably more.
yeah, if not longer.
Yeah,
And
Kiki's probably played for about 2 years, and I've only played properly for 7 months.
And yeah.
So obviously, I don't know. Kiki always sort of carried at the start, and I don't know. I kind of got pushed into the support role, and I didn't mind it, so I thought I'd keep playing.
It's sort of one of those things where you start learning with Ymir, and then just went on to the next Guardian, the next.
You got to go to Diamond Ymir.
That's pretty much what we do as a group.
So, I mean, now that you guys are qualified through the Invite League and we saw so much aggression, how much of that aggression is actually tempered by you guys? Do you guys really, really set the tone from Slap and Tickle? Who's the one that really sets the tone of that aggressive tone?
I think it depends on which gods you've got. Like, if Kiki's got an aggressive ADC, or if Chuckles has got an aggressive jungle, or if I've got aggressive support, I think that really dictates who's gonna sort of force those fights. Like, I mean, if Chuckles is on a Thanatos, like he's obviously gonna go ham at the start of every game. Or like if I'm on Ares, or if Kiki's on Cupid, it's sort of that sort of playstyle who initiates, but it obviously depends on composition and stuff like that.
So, do you guys, Callum and Josh, you guys have any questions that you'd like to pass on to the duo lane, obviously from Slap and Tickle?
Not really, to be honest.
It's just the one being the brothers thing, because I have a brother and he's absolutely terrible at every video game he plays. It's like, oh my god, what are you doing? It sucks. He could probably actually hear me right now. But yeah, like, it'd be cool to just like have someone to play with, like in real life, like that and you're like being right there. That'd be cool. So
we got duo lane the other day, Knightfall.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I got supported by the RichardCastle guys.
Did he play his special Ares just for you?
You would not believe what he played.
Oh god. Is this gonna be like a wheelish or something?
No. It was Naja.
Yep.
And
Rank was right.
and believe it or not, I played support Neath, and he played AD carry Naja, and he carried us, and we won. And I'm not kidding, that actually happened. It was awesome.
So for any of you pro teams out there, don't forget to ban Nijwa. Yeah.
That was awesome.
And Ares and Ymir.
Let Knightfall play Nate.
Yeah, I'll support Neath. I could play Rama. I played Shibalanke today. We were 6k gold behind, and the enemy had Fire Giant, and I carried back, so that was fun, and we won.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, that happened.
How do you guys? Do you guys have first up? Do you guys rage all that often at each other?
No, not really.
No, not really.
Usually just at everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
usually everybody else in the team.
No,
Off the back of that note, the rare occasion when it does happen, how do you handle it?
I don't actually think we do rage.
Yeah, we don't rage. It's more
Like, occasionally I'll tell Kiki to buy beads or bring 2 or something, and he'll kind of be like, yeah, but and then then he'll go get it. But I don't know. We don't really rage. I don't just.
we tinker a little bit, but that's about it.
It's not really our play style.
All right. Now that you guys are in the Invitational League as well, which opponent are you fearing to face the most out of the other 7 teams there?
I think there's obviously 2 standout teams like Avant-Garde and
Now the kamikaze.
the Kamikaze. That's going to call them fine. They're obviously, I think they're just a step above everyone at the moment. Everyone else is kind of newer to the scene and has to get used to just playing, really. Like, they're so much more, they're more polished than everyone else, I'd say, those 2 teams.
And they've got more competitive experience because they've been around longer and they've played in like every single 5v5 tournament. Whereas like the new teams, like all 5, like so most of Slap and Tickle are all like solo queue veterans of ranks, and then Wizard put them all together and was like, here's a team, we are now awesome, of awesomeness. And you guys are on it. Like,
I can't tell from that aggressive playstyle at all.
like the fact that they Wizard put together one of like the best teams from like all of like it was awesome, and you all synergized really well. And the fact that you like it's I don't know how to word it. It's
Giving Wiz too much credit.
from yeah. Okay. Shall we tell the story of Wizard?
Go right ahead.
Okay, basically,
I don't even know the story.
you don't know the story? Okay, so Wizard played League of Legends for like one of the longest times, like 3 or
Scrub.
4 years. And then
Scrub.
he qualified for PAX, but his team disbanded like the week before, so he wasn't able to go. So like, obviously being able to go to PAX and then not being able to must like suck really hard. So what he did was he came to Smite and he's like, I have all this knowledge. I'm going to create a team. And he started in like December or like January. And
Was this the last PAX?
oh yeah, the very last PAX, like the last one last
There's
year.
only been 1 PAX in Australia.
No, there's been 2.
Has there?
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the
Yeah.
first PAX was immediate, like the year that the LoL servers got released in Australia, and Immunity, who are now Chiefs, qualified then to go to the wild cards.
That was the first one, apparently.
It was the first one. Now I'm just trying to remember because it was Hot Soggy Decimate
before.
versus Team Immunity there. I'm just trying to remember who was on that team that Wizard was on.
Wizards Insec. That was the team, if you remember. But anyways,
I
So-
do too.
you do?
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that team. No
Yeah.
way.
That was him.
Yeah.
And what he did was he came to Smite and he built a team of... Actually, when I was on Odyssey Drop Bears, we tried him out. And he was like, oh, actually, what we're gonna... I'll form my own team. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, that's respectable. And he went off and he created Vivify. And then from there, created Slap and Tickle. And now Slap and Tickle are like top 3 in all of Oceania. In my honest opinion. Like that's pretty awesome. You have to admit, like that's pretty cool what Wiz did. But yeah,
Getting all the credit.
Absolutely.
he couldn't do it himself though. Like,
It just shows as well that if you've got a friend that over is playing League of Legends or Dota or any other MOBA, if they're playing Heroes of the Storm, get them over here. Screw that Heroes of the Storm stuff. But seriously, like, you can transfer your knowledge. You can actually transfer your knowledge. You can transfer your mechanics. That stuff's transferable. Then you have to learn how to play a first-person shooter.
Especially because I think League is so similar to Smite in terms of its like what things that you have to do, like the way the jungle works, the way that Hand of God works, the way that the roles and the meta works. It's a pretty easy transition. Whereas going from Dota to Smite would be a very hard transition. They're very different styles of games.
Yeah, I get where you're going at with that one, yeah. But yeah, do you guys have any previous experience in any games in any sort of professional way, or is this the first roll of the dice at something like this?
Yeah, first roll of the dice, really.
First serious roll of the dice, yeah.
I like to think I'm pretty good at FIFA.
I am going to beat you in a FIFA tournament, that's it. This throwdown is happening.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
so during that Invite League tournament to qualify, something pretty awesome happened.
Okay, no, not just one pretty awesome thing happened. Many pretty awesome things happened!
Yeah,
There was a few.
it was the fact that we got hosted by Zapban and we got 700 viewers on our small little channel. Oh my god, that was the scariest moment of my life, because I was like, oh, I'm just streaming and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I was the production, quote unquote, and I was sitting there and everyone was like, oh my god, Zapman hosted, and I'm like, no he didn't. And then I looked at the viewer list and it went from 70 and I saw it tick. It
did
said
I.
70 and then it said 757 and I was like, oh my god, like what? And that was cray. Shit was cray, yo. Oh my god. It was indescribable to see like 10, like 100 times. What's 70? 10 times the amount of viewers. I can't mathematics. Shut it up.
It was cool because we topped the Smite on Twitch.
Yeah.
The Smite page.
Which was
We had
awesome.
more viewers than like SunTouch. It was like #1 on the
Yeah.
on the Smite
And
list,
that
and
was
that's
just
cool because
bringing
like
in
yeah,
Yeah,
because like
yeah,
when
more
you're the
people.
top, people will jump in because you are the top. It was awesome. I took a screen cap of it and I put it on the page, and you should be able to find the photo still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I found was really cool as well is I like all of the international people were like really friendly.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like really supportive and stuff and giving like really good feedback. So like that was pretty cool having other people from different regions actually show interest and be pretty supportive of what we were doing.
And because of the way the matches were going, like we followed Slap and Tickle for most of it because like we just wanted to pump out as many matches as we could instead of like having like massive gaps. So we just followed Slap and Tickle from like game 2 I think to game 6, and they absolutely loved them. Like I was talking to people from Esportspedia, and RichardCastle is now their favorite. Like everyone's like, oh my god, it's RichardCastle.
He's gonna lock
Like-
in Ares, so you better ban that shit out.
Yeah, like the
Um,
godlike Ares falls.
But seriously, like for you guys, what was that like being able having your amazing plays and just the level of aggression that you guys showcase, broadcast to a wider world, and not just that, have players in the chat that you know as pros go a little bit crazy over some of the plays that you're making.
Well, the first game of the day, like we had soccer in the morning, so I hadn't even played a game that day. So the first game of the tournament was like my warm up kind of thing. So I was like, oh, hopefully we're not streamed the first one. We'll just hopefully win this, get a good warm up, and then stream one of our later ones. But then straight from the outset we had 750 viewers, and it was just like a little bit nervous at first, but then I was kind of excited, and yeah, it was very cool.
You are now international superstars of Smite.
Oh man. And then like something I'd like to say on behalf of us is that because we got so much attention, we actually got a good friend of mine that I've known for a very long time that is incredibly well known in the Smite community. Hindu Man dropped by after we finished casting and offered us a bunch of tips, and we've immediately lifted our casting game to try and bring it to a better level. So like just this scene is going crazy. This scene is going crazy in ways that no other similar styled video game in Australia can. And the
Yeah.
reason for that is that Smite is such a small community, but it's such a tight knit community, a community that loves their game. You could have the same sort of level of viewers as we did on the weekend on Twitch for League of Legends, and no one would know who you are. You would be no one compared to everyone else. What we just did for Smite is almost unprecedented. There are so many viewers. Team Down, like the guys from Team Down TV who are actually sitting in our chat tonight. We'll be doing a broadcast later with them, and these sorts of numbers are up there for them. So to have that many viewers from around the world interested in our game, interested in the way we play our game differently to the rest of the world, they can say, hey, we can actually go and check out the meta in Australia because it could be different, and it'll present new ideas to us that we haven't seen before. And the fact that those players are coming over and critiquing our play and looking at what we're doing, it means that this scene in Australia, it's going to go somewhere. And that means
Yeah.
that every single person in that scene needs to treat it with respect.
And it wasn't just like, oh, we have lots of viewers. It was like the viewers actually stuck around for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That
it
was
started off
awesome.
at 750, and then there was some technical issues, so it kind of went down a bit. And then like once the games actually started going, there was I think 2 or 3 games where it was just sitting on 500, and everyone was having a really good time. So that wasn't kind of the cool thing is not that we just had a lot of viewers, but it was actually really high retention. People were actually interested in what we were doing.
I was watching Captain Coach's stream yesterday, and like he was in the chat for that tournament last weekend, and at the end of his stream, he was like, he spoke about OC and said like, I think we'll expect big things from OC, and then he ended up hosting Tillage, I think, at the end of it.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Started getting recognised a bit more, and people are trying to help out OC, which is good.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the growth. Like last year we just had a server, and now we're at like Pro League and getting like 700.
We are officially
like-
just prior to Pro League.
Yeah.
The Invitational Tournament kicks off this week, and that seeds to Pro League. That's how close we are.
It's pretty sick. Speaking of Invitational League, for those of you who are like captains of teams, and if you're watching this right now, you should have a private message if you haven't read it in Cyber Gamer. I sent that out earlier yesterday. I don't remember specifically. And you are able to challenge. You're able to offer. Basically, like a challenge from the open ladder, you're able to offer times and then agree on that, and that's when your match will be played. It'll be best of 3, and yeah. Oh, also, big thing, no skins during the game
skins,
because
absolutely
it screws
We've
with the
actually-
spectator.
Yeah, we've discovered this due to the stream on the weekend. We were chatting with a few people, and found out that due to that, the skins, especially gold and diamond level skins, are actually screwing with the spectator client, and that is one of the reasons that can contribute to a stasis mode bug. The other one is obviously a faulty internet connection between either the servers or from your end as well, your ISP, anything like that. But yes, please do not use skins. You will be receiving penalties. There will be penalties for this because we want to be able to. This is a commitment from us and from Team Down TV. We want to be trying to stream more than 90%. 90% is our minimum target that we want to be streaming for the Cyber Gamer Invitational ladder.
And we don't want any like interruptions, because there'll be people from other regions going like, oh, this is really cool, and like we can't do what high-res do and take the spectator before it goes onto the server. They do it from LAN, whereas we're on the server. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's a bit annoying because everyone loves playing with skins. Like,
Yeah.
not so much the gold and diamonds, kind of like whatever, but it's the, Wiz just said in chat the Swagny or the other ones.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, but like it just
Yeah.
Stasis mode OP, yes, Link.
It's a little bit of stuff for us from us casters as well, because we can like comment on content that we really, really enjoy as well. So potentially, it's not something that we should be obviously focusing on, but in a brief floating screen, like we can go, oh, look at that new Bologna skin, isn't it so cool? Have you been playing with it? Yeah. And that for us just gives us another point to bounce it around and makes it feel a lot more natural. So
Yeah.
it's it's a little bit disappointing on all sides, but hey, I would rather be streaming the games than have nothing to stream at all.
Yeah. Ooh. Here's a word that's really hard to pronounce, and I've heard like 6 different pronunciations for it.
Jabulonke?
No.
Oh.
Pwesh.
Gino
Poosh. Poosh.
Apush?
Puck.
Apush?
Pwesh.
I'm
There's
gonna
like
go with
20.
Apush. That sounds a lot more right compared to
Yeah.
the Mayan tongue. So.
He got released.
Oh, he's already released.
Not
What?
released, PTS announced. PTS. That was the wrong word. sorry for the false hype. Do you want me to link it? I'll link it.
Go ahead.
So
Oh fuck. Whoa!
you did what? You got wrecked.
Damn it, Giles. I'm getting wrecked. Like, where's my lasagna? I feel like it's coming back tonight. Anyway, so yeah, Upwash has been released. He's obviously this is something that's really really cool for me is that he's going to be centered a lot around the corpses. He can pick up bonus sustain by picking up the corpses if he walks over them after casting a spell. His kit brings bonus damage thanks to the corpses that he can release, and there's just a lot of kit. You know, you can either use them for sustain or you can use them for damage, right? You have options, but the kit is balanced around that, and that's going to be an exciting feature of Smite. You guys, what are your thoughts on what you've seen from Upwash so far?
I watched DM Brandon stream for a little bit, and I don't know if DM was just being really good, but he was dumpstering everyone. Yeah, he was like 20-0, like in the few games I watched.
Although that's DM every PTS. He'll just use the brand new guard and go on like not die. Like his Bologna, he would get a quadricrill at like 1 minute in. But like he seems, a lot of people are arguing, is he mid or is he solo? Because of that ability that deals damage per tick of healing that the enemy does when it's active, and then stuns afterwards and deals that. So he can counter people like Hercules and like Bologna and stuff. And I wouldn't say hell, maybe Ra, but like, is he mid or is he solo? What are you guys' thoughts?
Admittedly, I've been pretty out of touch, so I haven't really seen anything. So I'm gonna omit myself from this conversation about Arpooch, or however you pronounce him.
Upwash, Upwash, or push, yeah, something like that. Anyway, over to you guys.
I'm not sure. I really haven't seen enough about him, and I mean, I don't really play solo. I kind of hate solo, so
That's
maybe
good.
after the chat.
We need Top Notch. Where is he?
Yeah.
Secret. No, Top Notch isn't coming. Okay. But yeah, personally, my input from this one, I mean, this is without me seeing any gameplay. I feel like he's just going to chase the sustain around the map. So if there's a Ra picked early on in the draft and it's towards the mid lane, or if he's decent enough that he's going to be strong in both solo and mid, he'll be picked early on in the draft as a flex. And what I mean by a flex pick is that a pick that you can pick up in each role, but you're not going to draft the other god until you at least have enough gods on the opposition pool to say, hey, this is what matchups he's going to be going into, this is where we counterpick. So flex matchups are counted in the draft by picking another flex matchup, but Ra is like the only one at the moment that can go mid and solo. Maybe maybe a Chang'e. Very maybe. But that's very maybe.
I know they picked Kronos last night as a flex in the spring finals. I think he went mid in the end.
Does that work anymore? I feel like it shouldn't work.
His clear isn't very good.
The boost played him. I can't remember how he went.
Because the main thing with Kronos is he doesn't have like a massive burst ultimate. Like he's like DPS sort of, kind of magical. Anyway, so Pwesh, his ultimate is gonna be a game-changing like thing. Has anyone seen it?
Nope.
Yeah, it's a bit slow.
It's okay. So, Callum, have you seen in Dota that dude who like makes all those minions run across the screen and deals loads of damage and stuff?
Tinker?
Is it Tinker?
I don't know.
That's not his ultimate though. That's Tinker's. That's just one of his.
But it's like the little crabs that sort of run across the screen.
No? Okay.
Anyway, continue. Go on.
Basically, he summons loads of corpses to rush across the screen. And when they hit you, they'll slow you for 7% at a maximum of 8 stacks. And so what's that, like 46-ish? I don't know. So each there's like hundreds of them that go across the map for 5-ish seconds, I think, maybe 6, 7. I don't know. But it's the size of the lane, larger than the size of the lane. Like, it will take the entire fire giant area, and
Wow.
there'll be damage just going across everything. Actually, I'll share it on stream. All right, I'm gonna change. We're gonna
So
watch
it's
this.
good for sieging.
I think the best thing, it's for zoning. I think the best thing it's used for.
Okay, watch the stream. It'll be on a delay, but wrong one.
Okay.
This one.
Well, anyway, so long story short, we should probably just go quickly over his abilities because we actually do have, myself and Knightfall actually do have someone that we both need to be, that we'll be announcing in just a couple of minutes. But anyway, in the meantime, let's go with his passive. His passive is going to be Hollow Ground. Arpush is closely attuned with the dead, as he is the god of the 9th level of hell, I believe, the 9th floor of hell. Or 9th dimension of hell. Arpush is closely attuned with the dead, may exhume corpses at his will. When walking over a decaying corpse, Arpush lowers the cooldown of Undead Surge, being his 1, restores some of his maximum health and some of his maximum mana. So now let's move on to his 1. Arpush's 1 is going to raise up 2 decaying corpses from the underworld that surge forward, exploding on anything they touch when they reach max distance, or when Arpush reactivates Undead Scourge, dealing damage and slowing targets hit. So it's basically the same, it's very similar to a Spirit Ball, but as soon as it touches an enemy, it also explodes, whereas Spirit Ball doesn't obviously happen with that. His number 2 is going to be Arpush causes the target area to explode, dealing damage. Corpse Explosion also causes any decaying corpses in the area to explode. So those corpses, those 2 corpses you've just unleashed from Undead Surge, instead of using your passive to pick them up and gain some regeneration and stats and whatnot, you can use them for bonus damage. Moving on to his number 3, Arpush throws a charm from the underworld that awakens a decaying corpse that applies miasma to targets in an area and falls to the ground. Targets take damage every second after the duration. Targets take additional damage and are stunned for each time they were healed by an ability during the initial duration. And that is called Fleeting Breath. So that's where the countering to the sustain comes in. Finally, Empty the Crypts is the ultimate. Arpush unleashes an army of wraiths from the 9th hell that swarm forward and deal damage to enemies they collide with, and applying a stacking slow. Interesting kit, to say the least.
I feel like the ultimate and the 3 is the best thing, and like not much else.
It's kind of like Anubis in the sense that he doesn't have a jump. He's not that mobile.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like could be a pub stomper.
I don't think he will quite have that much damage. Too early
That's
to tell.
true. Yeah. I kind of want to play him on PTS, but I don't know if the servers are up. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. New god.
Yeah, basically.
Someone more to master.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, this is the point we kind of have to start rushing the podcast along a little bit. Unfortunately, Trident Esports are no longer under the name Trident Esports. They've shifted to the name Kamikaze, with your favorite Switchway, Gruff Dogger, and the crew moving over to the entire new team. There's no roster swaps for anything, so that you'll be seeing that one in the Invitational lead. We have touched on a couple times tonight. The Spring Split Finals are going to be held at some time tonight, about 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I would say would be about the approximate time, coming us all the way from Atlanta in Georgia in the United States. That's going to be between TSM and Team AFK after an incredibly strong matchup AFK had against their opponents in the semi-finals. And then our last note before we unfortunately do have to rush this podcast through and get along to something special that's happening tonight. Tonight there's going to be a match in the open ladder from Illustrious 5 versus Law Gaming. This is going to be broadcast on the new and improves Smite channel, Team Down TV 2. We will find all your Cybergamer Smite action. That will be brought to you by the lovely guys from Team Down TV, who are going to be on the broadcasting crew tonight, and myself and Knightfall are going to be our casters. Knightfall, we're pretty excited for this one.
I'm pretty hyped. I haven't casted in a week, so I just want to do it. Well, I'll get this channel to host that channel, and yep. so you guys won't have to go anywhere. Stick around, and then you'll be able to link jump. You'll be able to jump into their channel via this one. Easy peasy.
I do recommend, though, if you are interested in watching any of the Cybergamer action, it is all going to be broadcast from Team Down TV 2. So
Yes.
jump on across there, twitch.tv/TeamDownTV2, and give them a follow. If you also follow their main channel and subscribe, you can actually use the swag that they do have. They have access to 5 icons. One of them is Avant-Garde. They might even look at, if they do get access to subscriber button on their second channel, they might even bring some silicon, maybe some Slap and Tickle logos and other sort of chat swag towards us. Unfortunately, guys, that is where we're going to have to call it tonight. So to our guests for this evening, Kikiomeo and RichardCastle, the brothers in arms and brothers in the battlefield of the gods, we say thank you very much for joining us.
No worries. All right. Thanks for having us. It's been
Callum
fun.
TheMachine McCall, thank you for once again for joining us.
No problem.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. And Josh Campbell and myself, you'll be seeing us just not too far away, obviously, from that castle we just mentioned. So Knightfall, say goodbye from us.
See you later.
And guys, it's time to say it. Unfortunately, it's going to be goodbye for now, but not forever. And we'll see you next time.